Morning, folks. Jer here at The View on Wednesday, the 26th of October, with some Leeds news and also some updates on some bits and pieces. And we finally managed to track down somebody at the San Francisco 49ers to have a chat with us. Last night, I got to interview Cam Inman, who is the in-house reporter at the 49ers. We did a short interview, which is planning on going on the channel on Saturday. And it's a really interesting insight. He very honest about the ownership model at the 49ers, what we can expect from the takeover, stadium plans, as well as just an insight into Parag Marathe and what he's like as a person and what Leeds can expect. Super honest interview, really open, lots and lots of details, a lot to be excited about as well. So that's coming on Saturday. If you want to see that, I will update everybody on that prior to it going out. You can get on my Twitter as well if you want to have a look and just when it goes live. Little bit of news going on, not a lot of huge positive news. It's going to be Jesse Marsch stuff today, so we're just going to crack on with it. And we'll just start off with some rumoured incomings, or at least links with Leeds. And Weston McKennie's been linked again with Leeds. The Juventus midfielder has been linked with a move away from Juve. Apparently, according to Ben Jacobs, Juve are said to be open to selling the player. He does have some personal issues at times. He has had a bit of an unusual attitude. But a £20 million euro fee being touted for the player, which is a very reasonable price. Look, about 16, 17 million pounds. But Spurs, Arsenal, Newcastle and Everton are also said to be interested in, along with Leeds. Leeds did have a look at the player in the summer, inquired about him, but they're said to still be interested in the midfielder. So wait and see what happens there. On players that should have come to Leeds or could have come to Leeds in the summer and didn't, Arnaud Kalimuendo, remember that name? The former PSG striker, now at Rennes, was interviewed in the French media, and this is what he had to say about a potential move to Leeds. He insists that he was never interested or never wanted a move to Leeds United or the Premier League. He went to Rennes ultimately in the end for £18 million, but he said there was no other decision. I didn't think about the Premier League. I just wanted to play at Rennes with people that I know. He then went on to say that I've watched a lot of games last season. I saw Martin Terrier, for example, how he played, and I really liked imagining myself with him in this coach's system. He's also scored 1 goal in 10 appearances so far this season, so not the goal machine I think we would have been hoping for. Anyway, Martin Terrier is the one that I really wanted. And if Leeds really are serious about getting a striker in, that's the one to go for me in the summer, or in January. Moving on to Jesse Marsch stuff, just a bit of it, we'll go through it. So we'll start off with Alexi Lalas. Everyone and their donkey has an opinion on Jesse Marsch right now. And Alexi Lalas has said that he thinks this could be his last week in charge of Leeds. He said, yeah, he's under pressure, and rightfully so, not because he's an American coach, but because he's a coach in a situation where he's trying to get somebody that can steady the ship and keep them in the league. That's a sentiment kind of going around. And again, we get to the 49ers interview. There's some interesting things about reactionary and how reactionary they are and their plans on changing managers. I think from speaking to Cam Inman yesterday, I can honestly tell you 49ers are not involved in getting rid of Jesse Marsch or keeping Jesse Marsch. They're just not involved in it. Tony Dorigo's had his say on it as well. Tony has said he thinks Marsch needs a performance minimum against Liverpool. And he said what's vital is a performance, a platform to take a step from. And that means no mistakes. Leeds will need some form. If we have an Arsenal-level performance against Liverpool, it's not a great Liverpool side, but it's still a Liverpool team. They're still dangerous. They're still dangerous players that will cause us problems. But if they can get a solid Arsenal-esque, Chelsea-esque performance against them, you never know. But a performance is the minimum, and then go on and try and beat Bournemouth, and then that just calms things a little bit down before we get into January. We don't beat Bournemouth, I think Jesse's toast. That's being very honest about it. I've got my personal feelings on this pretty quiet. I'll get to that at the end. But Jesse Marsch and Fabrizio Romano has had his say on this, and he was speaking in the Caught Offside column in Substack this week, and he said that the Leeds board is still backing Jesse Marsch as of today, so no news on replacement despite some speculation about future replacements. He said that the Leeds board is a strong supporter of Jesse Marsch and is not looking at other candidates right now. So I was asked yesterday where am I getting my information from. Well, there you go. Fabrizio Romano. Everyone believes him when he says a player is signing, so why not believe that? And then moving on to Pat Bamford and talk about some of our problems. We are doing a live stream Thursday, tomorrow night, with the American Leeds podcast, and we've got some XG stuff to talk about of where Leeds would be in the league versus where they are now. Michael has some really good stats I'm not going to take away from his thunder. But if you want to see that tomorrow evening, usual time about 9:30 UK time over on the American Leeds podcast on YouTube. Moving on to Pat Bamford, he is the Premier League's largest XG underperformer. By some distance, the XG is just an average or an aggregate of the chances versus goal scoring chances versus non-goal scoring chances and the average of them. Bamford is sitting on an XG of about 3.6, so nearly 4. So he should be on 4 goals minimum this season. We've seen that he's top of the biggest chances missed with 9. And what a difference that would make the Leeds season, those extra 9 goals and where they would have come in games. So, I mean, outside of tactical stuff and outside of boardroom stuff, there's a lot of fingers being pointed at the players. You know, there's been Luke Ayling the weekend with 2. Diego Llorente this season with a couple. Mark Rocket made a mistake. They're individual errors that have cost us games and cost us points. There's a bit of luck there as well, but not defending the tactics that Jesse's put out. He has put questionable team sheets, which I've questioned on the pitch. I'm moving on to that. There's a lot of people new to the channel over the last couple of days, and I spent most of the day in the comments yesterday, and I really shouldn't have. But I did try to talk to people. I'll talk to anybody in the comments. I'll have a genuine back and forth conversation. You get insulting with me, I won't talk to you. But if you want to have a conversation, I'm happy to do so. To make my points clear, I never wanted Marcelo Bielsa sacked. I was a fan of Marcelo Bielsa. I've taken some of his stuff and incorporated into my own training and my own coaching. I'm a huge fan. I was devastated when Leeds got rid of him. I genuinely thought he turned things around and fixed them. But I'm not looking backwards. I just don't see Barry Bielsa coming back to Leeds. He's a proud man. I can't see him swallowing his pride to come back to Leeds, and I can't see the Leeds board asking him to come back. That's just the facts that I'm working off of. But I want every manager at Leeds to be a success. That's why I'm backing Jesse Marsch to a degree, because if the manager's a success, then Leeds are a success. If I want the manager to fail, then I'm looking for my club to fail, and I don't want that. So if it doesn't work out for Jesse, which it's really struggling with now, I think if he doesn't get past Bournemouth with a good result, then I think he has to go, and we need to get somebody else in. There's a bit of panic out there at the moment, which is where Sean Dyche's name keeps coming up. It's a panicky move. There's other people there. The last bit of news is Carlos Corberán, who's obviously gone to West Brom as well. That's a person Leeds could have looked at as replacement, but he's only gone to West Brom, so if Leeds ever did decide to make a change, I'm pretty sure they could get him if they really wanted him. You know, it's a championship club. But we'll wait and see what happens there. But as I said, the interview with Cam Inman will go up later on the week, probably on Saturday morning, and I'll give you some updates over my Twitter and on the community tab at this page. Usual stuff. If you like the channel, if you like what we do, and you want to support the channel, all you got to do is subscribe. That's it. Not looking for any money. Not looking for anyone to pay for anything here. I'm not chasing money. Not chasing anything. Just if you want to support the channel, you can by hitting subscribe. That's it. Right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.